Oh, hey, y'all. It's Jandel Crutchfield, the public education trustee. And you know what time it is. It's time to stand up for public schools. So, in today's video, we're talking about state funding of public education. We've talked generally, how do these public schools that perform miracles get their funding? So, there's a little bit that comes from the federal government, we've talked about. Today, we're going to share more about specifically in Texas. How is it that we get money from the state, which is the majority of the money that we use to educate our kids? So we know that we have the state, but we also have those local property taxes. Well, the state uses this complicated formula to determine how much money a school district gets. And it's called the basic allotment. And so, in essence, the basic allotment, we're saying this is what's guaranteed to every student that's a public school student in every district across the state of Texas, because that's the basic allotment you need to educate your kids. Okay. So that number was around about $6,000 in 2019. And so some of the big issues that people are advocating about is that number needs to go up. Inflation, all the other costs in our state have gone up since 2019. So that number does too. So the allotment, though, is not just given to schools based on how many students are enrolled. Simple number like 1,000. If we have 1,000 students enrolled, it's not like we will get 6,000 times 1,000 students, but rather how many of those 1,000 students show up to our schools. So that is called ADA, our average daily attendance. And so you can see some of the challenges there because maybe all 1,000 students show up some days and only 900 show up other days. So that's hard to track. And a lot of times districts need more. They need the enrollment number to be funded. But the ADA, or the average daily attendance, is basically saying that the number of students on average that come to school every day, that's how you're going to receive your funding. So in addition to the basic allotment that's based on average daily attendance, there are these weights. So sometimes certain students cost more to educate, right? So think about students who have special needs, or students that are in career or technical education programs. The materials might be a little bit more, or the cost of the equipment might cost a little bit more. And so it's expensive to run those things. So the basic allotment with those various weights for students that need more to educate are what a school district is entitled to. And so when we're asking for, or when there's a call to action to say, hey, we need that basic allotment to be based on students that are enrolled, because sometimes students come to class, sometimes they're absent, but it still doesn't mean that we don't have to prepare for those students and have those teachers ready in those classrooms and the material. So we needed the basic allotment to be based on how many people are enrolled. Right. And we also needed to just go up since 2019. So you'll hear a lot of that language as we prepare for the 2025 legislative session to come up. So that's state funding in a nutshell, basic allotments, some weights, and we needed to be based on the enrollment, not the average daily attendance. All right, y'all.